We aim to connect the world to Riyadh with seamless journeys, advanced technology, and focus on sustainability, elevating every guest experience for the future of travel, setting a new standard in air travel. On today's video, I am going to be telling you the step-by-step process to become a cabin crew member with Riyadh Air, journey that I am currently accompanying with 20 students of mine that are on the process of becoming Riyadh Air Cabin Crew members, and we're going to talk about it all. From the moment you are preparing to submit your application until the onboarding stage. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Jamila. I am your recruitment bestie, as I would like you to remember me from now onwards. And yes, I'm going to be accompanying you throughout the whole interview process, acknowledging each and every single one of the stages for you to understand what to expect on each and every single one of the steps for you to become the next cabin crew member with Riyadh Air. I have personally been coaching aviation candidates for over 16, 17 years already. Eventually, I got my wings as an Emirates cabin crew member, and for already 4 years, I have done my transition intentionally onto a recruitment advisor role, purposefully as well. And I wanted to bring this information to you, as well as the timeframes. What are the timings expected for your experience with Riyadh Air interview process? A few things that I would like to let you know as well is that I know that many of you are getting valuable information on these beautiful videos that we do from the bottom of our hearts, and you're not yet subscribed. So please, I would like to ask you to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're finding incredible amounts of information and value. I would love to start suggesting you, as usual, to go grab your pen, your notebook, and write down all the information, or of course, eventually come back later if you cannot do it right now, and save this video and share it with someone who might use it as well. Let's begin with Riyadh Air's cabin crew application process. First of all, you need to understand that Riyadh Air is the newest airline that everybody is aiming to be part of, and everybody's also talking about. It has a lot of visibility nowadays, and the reality is that Riyadh Air is coming to innovate, to bring back the luxurious of travels, and also is setting up a new benchmark and highest standards amongst the Middle Eastern airlines and international airlines as well. So when we're thinking about Riyadh Air, we're thinking about the most amazing, seamless, luxurious, memorable, long-lasting experience that is going to be provided to passengers on board from the very beginning of their journey until they leave the aircraft, until they leave the airport, and so much more. They want to leave the passengers eager, hungry for more, for coming back. That's exactly the aim of each and every single one of the airlines. But when it comes to Riyadh Air, we're talking about top niche, high caliber candidates that are going to be part of their team, which are already as well part of their cabin crew member teams. I would like to start suggesting you that is going to be expected from you from your CV and application process. So if you're one of a kind that really doesn't pay quite a lot of attention, or simply thinks that with any type of CV template you're going to get from Canva, you're going to be fine, this is not going to be the case. You need to showcase luxurious attentiveness to details, and you are also extremely purposefully creating the CV aligned to Riyadh Air. So if you have no clue where to start, I would like to suggest you to go grab the CV guide I left for all the Middle Eastern airlines, but specifically for Riyadh Air, you are going to understand how to distinguish your CV from all of the candidates, which has made all of my students so far who are interested in becoming part of Riyadh Air be called to the stages of the interview process. Having said that, I would like to suggest you to have your CV prepared and the photo Okay, you need to remember that in this specific company, you do not have to attach the photo to your CV. You need to have them separated, so you upload them separated. By acknowledging this, you're already acknowledging the standards of the company. Once you have submitted your application, you're immediately going to receive a success screen, a thank you for your application, and you are going to receive immediately an email where they're going to state that they are going to review your application, that they are thankful for your interest in joining Riyadh Air's cabin crew team, and you are going to have to wait in between 24 and 48 hours. Now, a few of my students already got the invitation within a few minutes. To be honest, that's how tailored and precise and intentional we are when we create the CVs. And regardless of the fact that if you get it, perhaps invitation to do the virtual assessment, or you may get it within 24 to 48 hours, the reality is that the next stage is going to come up. Unless you have done a gross mistake, unless you do not comply with the requirements listed for the cabin crew position with Riyadh Air, in that case, you are going to get automatically rejected. Because remember, you are going to always go through an applicant tracking system that is going to distinguish and determine your potentiality for the cabin crew position on each airline. In this case, Riyadh Air has a very strict ATS system, applicant tracking system. Therefore, you must be very precise on the CV creation. Having said that, when you get the invitation for the virtual assessment, remember you're going to be guided in a way by an AI tool called Najat. She is going to be your virtual recruiter, and she's going to guide you through the 3 steps of your initial virtual assessment. For the virtual assessment, I already gave you some guidelines when it comes to the Etihad virtual assessment, but just for you to refresh the information, always make sure you have great internet connection, you always have a backup plan, to do it preferably on a computer. You can also opt out to do it on a tablet if you need to, or any electronic device. I don't suggest people to do it on a phone. If you can prioritize other electronic devices like a computer or a tablet, go for it. And ultimately, I will always suggest you to have a backup plan. So for example, if you have been considering to do it in a computer, just make sure you have a tablet next to you as a backup plan in case an eventuality happens, in case your interview stops at a certain point and you're going to be able to continue with the process from another device. It's always something you need to understand, that when you are doing the virtual assessment, it will always tell you that you can come back to it. You have up to a specific amount of days. If I am correct, you can do it within 7 days from the moment you started. But as a personal and professional advice, just try to do it on the same day, in case, again, an eventuality happens and you cannot go back to accessing the virtual assessment. Let's talk about what you are going to be experiencing during the virtual assessment with Najat, the virtual recruiter you're going to find there. And the first thing you're going to have to go through is the verification of your camera and microphone working. You're going to have the opportunity to test it. Just make sure you have it on, connected, and then you will move on to a first stage. The first stage is going to consist of a 10-minute stage. You are going to go through what's called the Cabin Crew Immersive experience, where you're going to be tested on your professional approach as per customer service, and how you interact with customers, how you deal with certain situations, and therefore how you will potentially deal with them on board. A few things about this stage is that, as I mentioned, it's going to last for 10 minutes. 10 questions will be there. Just make sure you prioritize your organization, because it can go too fast, and if you go too slow, 10 minutes are going to be over quickly. I would also like to suggest you to be very attentive and to pay a lot of attention. And in my Riyadh Air interview preparation guide, I speak in depth about this, so you can go grab the CV guide from my link in bio on my social media platforms, or as well from my website. Moving on to the second part, this is the one and only time where you're going to be recording yourself in a 2-minute video. You are going to be assessed on your English speaking skill sets, and you are going to just have to answer why do you consider yourself to be the ideal candidate for the position of cabin crew in Riyadh Air. A few things I would like to tell you about this stage is that you only have 2 attempts to record yourself. Again, this stage will have a full length of 10 minutes and only 2 attempts to do the video. Don't seek perfection, as I always tell you to do. Just be yourself, enjoy yourself, but be honest and be fluent. So again, they're not going to be testing and seeking perfection in the English language. However, you are going to have to show yourself very confidently speaking the English language, because it's going to be crucial for both your training, the other parts of your interview process, and as well your onboard journey. Third part of your virtual assessment with Najd is going to be English listening comprehensive tests. You're going to have to listen to 10 audios. Some of them are going to be up to 1 minute, some of them are going to be over a minute, so make sure you prioritize the organization of this part. And as well, you are going to find a lot of challenges, especially if you're not very used to listening to different accents. For example, a very native English speaker from the northern part of England, and as well you will find other accents from all over the globe that are native English speakers, perhaps from Australia, from New Zealand, and so much more. So make sure you also understand and are used to understanding different accents, because otherwise it's going to be quite challenging. You're going to have to repeat the audio and you're going to waste valuable time. And what happens in general is that the majority of candidates have been saying and reporting, not my students because I train them very well, but have been saying that the last part is the most challenging one as per time organization and being able to understand the tasks that they are presented with. Once again, I speak about this in depth in my Riyadh Air interview guide, so make sure you go grab it from my website. Moving on to what happens next. So, depending on whether or not there will be scheduled an assessment day in your country, you may hear from Riyadh Air from the moment you finish the virtual assessment, 2 weeks after the assessment, the virtual assessment, up to 5 or 6 months. Yes, this is a really wide time frame. However, it will definitely depend on your current location, where you are based, and if they are holding or hosting a recruitment event in your country or in a nearby country that you can go to. What I would like to suggest you is that you use wisely these 2 weeks or 6 months, because in any moment you may receive the invitation for the recruitment process itself, and you are going to have to use those time frames wisely. Now, moving on to the real assessment day in person with Riyadh Air. A few things you're going to notice is that it's going to take place in around 6 to 7 hours. You must be fully prepared, fully ready for a long day. The good news about Riyadh Air is that there are no eliminatory stages unless you don't fulfill the criteria of the height. So the one and only stage where you're going to get rejected by Riyadh Air is if you are not 160 centimeters tall and you don't reach the 2 meters 12 of height. Remember, it's not because we don't like you guys that we reject candidates as recruiters. It's nothing personal with you. It's just a matter of safety. And we need to ensure you're the most valuable asset for our passengers and of course yourself and of course your colleagues on board. All right? Moving on to what to expect from the assessment day with Riyadh Air. So of course, the first thing we do as recruiters is to introduce you to the company. We speak about everything you want to know, you need to know. It's going to be a great opportunity for you to be attentive. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask us any questions when we present our companies. After the company's presentations, and of course, they're going to be talking about salary expectations, flight duties, expectations, and so much more. You are going to go through a break. They generally offer you a beautiful buffet of breakfast. They know you must have woken up earlier, and you probably have little or nothing in your stomach, so they are super amazing when it comes to hosting, and that's exactly what's going to be expected from you when you become a cabin crew member with them, to be extremely detailed, extremely purposeful, and extremely intentional when it comes to your actions. So if you're wise enough, you will have to start understanding and acknowledging those things, because that's exactly what's expected from you. Moving on to the real first stage of the interview process, you are going to be facing a first group activity. Guys, don't be scared, don't freak out. If you have had a negative experience with other companies when it comes to group activities, the reality is that it's extremely smoothly, and as I mentioned to you before, there is not such a thing as an eliminatory stage, so you will not go home if you perform poorly. Ultimately, what's going to happen is you're going to finish the whole day and you are going to receive okay, you are not successful, try again with us in 6 months. So the first group discussion is going to be, of course, you in a team of 6 to 8 people, and you're going to ask to please introduce yourself briefly, and then depending on if you were a cabin crew member before or if you were not a cabin crew member before, you're going to have different sets of questions. So you have to be aware of this. Please prepare a beautiful, brief self-introduction, and as well, what's going to happen is that you're going to have different type of questions related to your previous work experience. The second stage of your interview process with Riyadh Air is going to be reach test, the height test that is sometimes getting people to go home. This is the one and only time where candidates get rejected, as I mentioned earlier, for safety reasons, nothing personal, but we do have standards to follow when it comes to assessing you guys. So please, please, please make sure you actually fulfill the height criteria. On this stage, you're also going to be asked about visible tattoos if you have them, and any really obvious scar that might be extremely obviously visible and might jeopardize the standards of the company. Avoid at all costs taking with you piercings. Obvious visible piercings are not culturally aligned to any Middle Eastern airlines, so please avoid yourself a headache, and of course avoid looking unprofessional. The third stage of your interview process is going to be a second group dynamic. In general, on the second group dynamic, again, what's going to happen is that the set of questions will be different from people who had cabin crew experience and people who don't. If you don't have any cabin crew experience, that's okay. Just go through all the things you have gone through and you have experienced yourself as part of a, for example, luxurious hospitality experience. Moving on to the fourth part of your interview process, you're going to go through a photo shooting. Yes, guys, it's not going to be like in a catwalk, like in a Victoria's Secret type of pre-photo shooting. However, you must be impeccable. So make sure you go and improve those areas that probably have faded. For example, the lipstick in the ladies, if you have been holding it for quite a while. And guys, always make sure you have it tied, beautifully aligned with your amazing suit in case of gentlemen, okay? And then moving on to that, on the last stage, you finally get the final interview. Yes, guys, you're going to go through a one-to-one level set of questions like you always know, and you're always aware of that. Reaching the final interview stage, you know what is expected from you. You know that you're going to be asked about your work experience. The behavioral sets of questions are always going to be there. If you don't know what is a behavioral question, the reality is you do know, you just don't know them by that name. They are the typical questions we ask you when we ask you, tell us about a time. Of course, you're going to have situational questions and general questions. Situational questions are, what would you do if? all right? And the general questions are, why do you want to be part of our company? Or in case you don't have any cabin crew experience, why do you want to be cabin crew, okay? Now, after the final interview, you are going to experience a period of waiting. I understand it's quite challenging to wait and be patient enough after the final interview. However, there's nothing else you can do. As recruiters, we're submitting all the information we received from you and we took down notes from you during the interview process, and we're submitting them to the hiring manager. The hiring manager is going to be the person that is going to decide whether or not you are a suitable candidate for the company. Now, what do you do there? You don't stalk people on other social media platforms. Always stay positive, patient, and in a very good mindset of acknowledging that what's coming up is for your ultimate greatness. If you get successful, you're going to go through an onboarding process. That's it. And you're going to do the joining formalities, and you are going to be traveling to Riyadh extremely quickly, like in around 3 weeks. And if you're not, take it as an opportunity to revise, reflect, and really prepare consciously the things you need to prepare for your next opportunity when the cooling period is off. I would always like to suggest you to consider that preparing for Riyadh Air is not like preparing for any other company. Again, they are setting a new benchmark, as I read to you in the beginning, and they are expecting to hire the top niche, high caliber candidates. If you have no idea how to start, where to start, and what is expected from you, or even how to prepare your interview process in the most amazing, successful manners, guaranteeing your best and top performance, you can either opt out for starting off with my Riyadh Air interview preparation guide, or if you want to do it more personal, I will see you in my sessions to work together on a one-to-one level for you to be the next golden call with Riyadh Air. I will read you in my comments section, guys. If you have any questions below, leave them in there. Subscribe to the channel as I asked you earlier. If you find value on these videos, it helps us bring you more valuable information faster and more frequent. And I will see you on the next video soon. For now, bye!